actually it's the lead play in our offense. We ask our YN or a tight end to open up somewhere between 6 feet and 9 feet, get an isolation with the linebacker. Tell the tackle to take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, to drive down on the first man to his inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. You can find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. Text us 865-658-5824. We got a packed house in here tonight. This is about our 17th live stream of the day. Jacob said he's exhausted. He hasn't worked this hard in forever, right, Jacob? How you feeling, man? Are you holding up?
I'm feeling pretty fly.
Don't be showing them gang colors up in here, man. You've been trouble. All right. My man sporting the merch. You can find the merch shop link in the description of this video. We got Carly Ray online with us. Obviously, we were all reacting earlier today, me, Tim, Emilio. Carly, let's get your thoughts on these signings just real quick, and we'll recap everything. But right off the top, how do you feel about Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs signing with the Packers?
I found out about them all kind of right in the row. I found out about Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones kind of simultaneously. And so that kind of just took the excitement out of the Josh Jacobs thing for me. And then I feel like maybe there was some the Goody was kind of doing it on purpose to have the maybe Xavier McKinney news come out later so that we wouldn't be also devastated. So I'm super excited. But the other side of it with losing Aaron Jones was just not, it kind of took some of the fun out of it. Right. Xavier McKinney put it back. I don't know. I feel I'm all over the place today. I'm still processing.
That was us earlier, right? That's kind of how we responded to everything. You know, I was going to end with this, but it's funny. We'll just start right off the top here, and then I'll get into a quick little ad read. But Aaron Alice put this out on Twitter. You know, this was us live on the air. We were like, Josh Jacobs, all right, we got the best running back tandem in the league, maybe. Look at this. Then, of course, we get the news that Aaron Jones is cut. This right here sums it up. Best running back in the league, 2:06 p.m. to 3:11 p.m.
Oh, no.
So that's a great follow on Twitter that right there, at HEROOINE. Goes by Aaron Alice on there. As you can see, it's Mark Murphy on the inner tube, and it's her face photoshopped on Mark Murphy. She is awesome on Twitter. So go give her a follow, all that good stuff. Definitely will not be disappointed. But with that being said, just want to give a quick shout out to Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packers Total Access Live, Wisconsin-based since 1992, specializing in Packers tickets, Wisconsin's largest ticket source as well. They've got offices next to Lambeau Field and also in Milwaukee. Click on the link in the video description. That will send you to their website, www.theticketking.com, where you can register for free as a customer and get ready for that May schedule release, as the Packers schedule will drop right there in mid-May. And you guys go ahead and get your tickets locked down for the upcoming season. Got a lot of excitement around this season. I know 33 most likely won't be on the team, but man, Xavier McKinney, all these other signings, absolutely huge. Make sure you get your tickets from Ticket King. We appreciate them supporting us. And again, they've been in business now, Wisconsin-based since 1992. So appreciate their support. Now, as we look at the day one recap, got a family reunion going on here live on the air. I love it. Lily, how do you say her last name? You guys know how to pronounce her last name there, Jacob? Is it Zhao?
Zhao. No.
Why did you say Zhao like that?
I'm just trying to pronounce it and be.
Yeah, you did good. No, I like
trying to pronounce it.
Yeah.
We try to pronounce it. Lily Zhao. On Packers today signed safety Xavier McKinney, signed running back Josh Jacobs. They released running back Aaron Jones. They released left tackle David Bakhtiari. Darnell Savage ended up with the Jaguars, I think roughly $7 million per. And John Runyon went to the Giants for, I believe, $10 million per, which is just wild to me. So that's kind of your day one recap, guys. We had a little bit of time, Tim, to sit on it here today, right? What do you think now, man, that you've had a little bit of time to let it process? How are we feeling about the day one recap here, Tim?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is obviously Showtime 33, right? I mean, that's what's in the forefront of our minds. And I got to tell you, I've had some time to think about it here in the few hours we had in between pods. And, my heart hates it. You hate to see him go, but the more I wrap my head around this, the football brain in me, whatever little peon-sized football brain I have in there, is telling me that this is going to play out pretty good for the Packers. And it's important to remember that, we cheer for this team and for this franchise, and we love our players. Some are more endeared to our hearts than others. I think it's pretty easy to say that you put Aaron Jones in the same company as Reggie White or Bart Starr or Leroy Butler, Donald Driver, any of the other greats that have ever worn the green and gold. But at the end of the day, this is a business, and we understand that. And I certainly think our team improved today. And I'm not just speaking about running back. I'm talking about free agency as a whole. I'm out swinging in free agency, which is something that we haven't seen very much of in recent memory here. So all in all, I'm still at a B+. We did our grades earlier. I feel good about our B+. And sad to see Aaron Jones go, but really excited about the future for this team right now.
Yeah, no doubt, man. United Bates said, shout out to Joyce for gifting 10 more memberships at the end of the last stream. I think she's gifted 60 memberships today.
Wow.
Just the real MVP today. I know Goop came in second place for the MVP.
Thank you. Thank you. At least somebody said
it. Joyce came in first here. Let's see who else in the chat. Blake B says, get Ryan Schlip in here. Listen, Blake, Ryan Schlip has an invite to every live stream we do. And he always stonewalls us, man. He just ignores it, pretends like we don't exist. So we're those redheaded stepchildren, I should say, right? That just don't get we don't get any love, man. It is what it is, So he might be watching right now. I doubt it. He's probably raising 32 children and over there cooking something on the grill. But you let Ryan know he needs to get in this stream more often. Let's just put it that way. What'd you say, Bub?
Said I'm pretty sure he's on his own live stream right now.
Oh, is he really? Okay. Yeah. We should just end this and just go crash that.
Start popping up.
Exactly. Brandy in the chat said, what did I miss? Just kidding. Yeah, nothing happened today. That's for sure. Good to see you in here, Brandy. Thanks for swinging by.
You sure about
Silky in the chat said, woo, what a day. And let's see here. Dead Fish says, Clayton, where have you been today? You know where I've been. I've been trying to keep my
man in the bottle.
No, that was me.
Tim in the bottle.
Tim, I'm just catching up, man.
Speaking of bottle, David Mitchell says, I poured me some Kentucky Daddy juice to clear my head for this episode.
Attaboy.
You got to pour one out for old 33, no doubt about it. We'll hit on a little bit more here in a minute. Blake B says, once we draft Blake Corum, there'll be a zombie hand reaching out from that tombstone. I'd be okay with Blake Corum. I think right now he's my number 2 back in this draft behind Trey Benson, I believe. I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's Blake Corum. I'm sorry, it's Trey Benson, Blake Corum, then Audric Estime is who I've got in that order. But again, that could shuffle around and change a little bit before the draft gets here. Chad Inc. says, what a day. It was a roller coaster of emotions for me, man. So stoked to get X, though, talking about Xavier. He's exactly what half described what he wanted from a safety, talking about Coach Hafley. Completely agree. You got a guy who can play that deep post and be aggressive coming underneath. If you watch some of his film, some of his highlights, man, that dude, he can jump a route. And I think you're going to get a high football IQ. He's someone who's played at a high level ever since college, playing at Bama, obviously playing the best of the best down there and having that pressure of competing for a national title pretty much year in and year out. I think he's got the pedigree. John Schmidt says, so if we find an affordable linebacker somewhere this week, I'll really like the free agent period. Maybe Al-Shaair. Spelling, of course. So we had him on a short list at one point. I think we moved on. No, we still had him here. He wasn't one of my really, really high picks, but Azeez Al-Shaair, I think is who he's talking about. $6.7 million was the market, 26 years old, only a 64 PFF grade though. For me, if we were going to go linebacker, the name is still there, Bobby Wagner. I'd love to see Bobby Wagner. Has Tyler Dotson signed? Have you guys seen Tyler Dotson anywhere yet? I don't remember seeing that name. I know Blake Cashman came off the board, right? So he came off the board. I think Tyler Dotson's still out there. Now, the thing about Tyler Dotson, too, he played in Buffalo. I think he had had a little run in with off the field activities too. I'm pretty sure he was involved in an arrest, but Goody kind of cut from the same cloth as Ted Thompson. Ted Thompson was always very vocal about giving people second chances and having grace and all that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they'd take a shot at him. So anyway, there you go. Around the horn here. I don't want to talk this whole time, guys. I want your all's input too. So we'll get into another topic in a second. Did that trigger anything for you guys? Those comments there. Anything you guys want to hit on before we get into some of the other topics?
Sign Bobby Wagner tomorrow. Yeah. I agree.
Yep.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. What do you think, Emilio? Are you as high on Bobby Wagner as we are, man?
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys like the veteran. I guess my take would be I would be fine with a younger linebacker now that we spent money on a safety. Yeah, Bobby would be a dog for a year for sure. But the way Goody's running this thing, young, I don't see him, dropping, 5 million, even just 5 million on a, 4 or 5 million on a 30-year-old player, 30 plus. So that's where I was kind of, confused as to where he's going with it. But I honestly think we just kind of need to look at what's in front of us and look at the ages, look at where he's going, look at what he's moved on from. And I honestly, it's exciting, right? We were the youngest team and we were successful. Why not, try to chase that again and see where we're going with it, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. When you look at the safety position too, as you fill that safety room out, you've got Anthony Johnson Jr. Now you got Xavier McKinney. Mm-hmm. Love to see Rudy Ford back for less than $2 million per. Obviously, I think he finished the year with the lowest passer rating when targeted, lowest in a good way, right? He had the best passer rating when targeted at the safety position there. I believe that was in January was the last time I seen that mentioned. So I don't think it, changed by the end of the regular season or the playoffs. But I'd like to see Rudy Ford back. I'd be okay with Jonathan Owens coming back too. That would be okay with me. You kind of round out that safety room. J.O. obviously can play spur. He can play in the box. Somebody asked me about spur earlier. Let me explain what I mean by spur. So when you play a single high safety, right, you've got your guy that's playing post, right, your post safety, your single high. And then you got more of a strong safety top that's going to rotate into the box, okay? So when we talk about robber, excuse me, that means you're in a too high look, the ball is snapped, and the strong safety typically will play robber. He'll rotate into the box. So he'll play an underneath zone underneath that single high in a man coverage. That's called cover one robber. When we're talking about spur, that's more of a pre-snap set to where you're going to have the safety, the strong safety typically playing in the box. And he's kind of playing a little more in the run fit. Typically with the spur, when someone is getting down there into like a linebacker's position there, what will happen is you'll play more of an under front, which essentially means the defensive tackles are shaded to the weak side. They're under the strong side of the formation. And what will happen is sometimes the Sam will creep up on the line in an under, and then you'll have that safety playing spur. And the reason I mention that's because Jeff Hafley mentioned that they want to play fast, right? They want to play aggressive. And I think one of the big changes you'll see between this defense and Joe Barry's last year, the end result, we played single high, right? Middle field close, fifth most in the league. I don't think that's going to change. I think we're going to still play a lot of middle field close. The thing that's going to change is we showed too high look and always rotated into a middle field close. I think you're going to see more of the secondary lining up where they're going to be off the bat. Less sugaring in the secondary, and that's going to allow the defensive players to play a little bit faster. You're losing the effect of trying to confuse the pre-snap, adjustments of the quarterback, but you're gaining a half a step and faster processing for your defense because they don't have to think, let me get to my spot, find my work, if that makes sense. So someone asked about that. I just wanted to mention it because I don't mean to confuse people. Just say something and move on to the next topic. But spur, a little bit different than a late rotation. They're kind of pre-snap lined up. That's what they refer to as spur. It's more of a college term, but it applies when you're playing a single high. So, all right, let's see here. M. Smitty 1386 says, sounds like Bach got cut with a failed physical designation. Did anybody else hear that? It's the first time I've heard that. That's pretty wild.
I didn't hear that, but if so, I mean, that's all the reason Goody needed, right? To move on from it. We've given him chances. We've given him all that, but tough, man. You know, because he's done all that. He's done the work. He's done trying to get back. He's had 3, 4, 5 surgeries, whatever. He's done everything to try to do it, and it's just not working for him. And sometimes it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they replace it, it just doesn't work, man.
Yeah. Let's look at the details of, and we don't have all the details yet, obviously, of the contracts. We got a little more on Josh Jacobs than we have on Xavier McKinney, but obviously this was the original tweet from Adam Schefter. Packers moves. Free agent safety Xavier McKinney is signing a 4-year, $68 million deal, $17 million per year average with the Green Bay Packers. Agent David Mulageta confirmed the deal. Now, obviously, they're not talking about how much is guaranteed yet. I would imagine there's decent guaranteed money there. And again, you'll be able to get out of it after 3 years if indeed you want to. Let's hope they don't want to. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, at least off the information we got. The Josh Jacobs one is really interesting. And Jacob, thank you so much for sending some of this information over to me, man. Andrew Brandt says Josh Jacobs reported deal, 4 years, $48 million, but the real deal is 1 year, $14.8 million. And 3 Packer option years. Strong deal for 1 year, and then, quote, we'll see. Okay. And he went on in another tweet to mention how that's how they always work their deals, especially with running backs, is guarantee up front. You get them in the building, and then it's kind of the Packers can move on after that if they want to. All right. Now, Tom Pelissero went a little more in depth and said Josh Jacobs gets a $12.5 million signing bonus and $14.8 million total in year 1. So you're already seeing a little discrepancy there if I'm reading them both right. He's saying 14.8, 1 year, 14.8, making it sound like that's completely guaranteed. Pelissero's only saying 12.5 million is guaranteed. So to me, probably minimal salary there attached with the $12.5 million signing bonus. And when you say front loaded, you can spread that signing bonus out over the duration of the contract. And if at any point you cut him, then that accelerates to the first year. Essentially what they're saying is the guaranteed money was $12.5 million up front. I've seen a lot of arguing on Twitter. I don't understand why the hell Packer fans want to argue over every little thing. Like it's mind-boggling to me. This is a good day. Like we cut some, and it's not even like if you disagree on Aaron Jones, you guys heard us, it devastated us. But the whole arguing over where the money is it a good deal? Is it a bad? It's like immediately when something happens, people they go to one camp that Goody can do no wrong, or we go to the other camp that Goody's trash. And it's like, can we just enjoy? This is why we can't have nice things right here, right? Yep. As they say. So interesting to see how that's going to play out and see exactly how the money's going to be allocated. Here's a quick video from Andrew Brandt kind of explaining all that. And then we'll go around the horn with the Josh Jacobs news. Here we go.
Hey guys, I want to give some notes on the first day of free agency, just things that stand out to me. First, always note that the numbers are from the agent. They go to the media, they give it in the best possible light. I was there on the team side when agents would say, can I go to ESPN or Fox or NFL Network and say it's this number? I'd say whatever floats your boat, whatever helped close the deal for me, they could tell them whatever they wanted. That's the game that's played out there. Okay, the deals. Kirk Cousins stands out, obviously the biggest deal on free agency. He is consistently and has been from the beginning in my Business of Sports Hall of Fame, getting great deals all the way through. He gets basically $90 million from the Falcons over 2 years. That's strong. Last year we saw Daniel Jones get 84 over 2. This is 90. We saw Baker Mayfield a few days ago get basically 60 over 2. So this is 90 over 2. Strong cash flow for Cousins. He gets a $50 million signing bonus. He continues to crush it on the business side of football. The running backs, right away, they're jumping out. Now, none of them were franchised this year, so that made a difference. We saw Barkley get a deal that's reported about 26 guaranteed. I'm wondering if that's the first 2 years, 13 a year. That's pretty strong. And Josh Jacobs with the Packers, the deal is really like $14 million for the first year. That's all the Packers will guarantee. I know. I did it for 9 years. And then the rest is going to be team options. So they trade out Aaron Jones, lovable player, but basically the Packers going 3 years is a magic number in with the running back position. So they trade out a 29-year-old for a 26-year-old. Tough business. Other running backs got deals. $8 million is the number for DeAndre Swift and Tony Pollard. And then, of course, the key position, defensive line, getting paid throughout. We saw Chris Jones get a very strong deal, about $95 in real money over 3. And then Matabuke, a strong deal. Brian Burns gets traded with a strong deal. Wilkins, strong deal. All these deals are going to be strong for that position. But by and large, free agency is happening fast and furious. It's going to be over, basically, for the big names 2 days before it starts. That's just the way it happens. First day impressions. I'll be back soon.
There you go. Andrew Brandt's the best, man. He's so good at just breaking it down into simple terms. You heard him. It's basically a 1-year, $14 million deal, right? So, Jacob, what he means there, obviously, you can cut bait after that first year, and all that's on the hook is that guaranteed money. You feel like, okay, you were not willing, but the cap hit you had on Aaron Jones originally was like $17 million, right? And you're kind of shaving $3 million off of that, and after that, it does become team options because they can simply cut him, let him go. Here's the problem with that, though. After year one, the guaranteed money's over. The security is gone. Don't think for a second that a player is not going to try to hold out to get more guaranteed money. We've seen it a lot. That's why I kind of tell people that are on the Goody train, like Goody can do no wrong, and like, oh, this is the perfect deal. You won't be saying that next year if he decides to hold out. That can be an issue moving forward. Again, got to be a little bit more forward thinking. But on the surface, Jacob, you good with it, man?
No, I'm still upset. And the money to me, again, doesn't make that much sense. Like you said, at the end of the day, it's a difference of like $3 million basically when you cut through it. Plus, the whole locker room disruption, tie that in with the fact of I get it. What's better than a 29-year-old that's a 26-year-old? But you know what's better than a 26-year-old? A 21-year-old. And I'll stop there.
Yeah.
But
Emilio said, yeah.
That was a good choice to stop there, Jacob.
Yeah. So I just feel like that we could have went and got a lot of maybe younger guys in that position specifically that could have been on the team with us for 5, 6, 7 years. Knock it off, Emilio.
His camera's shaking over there too, man. It's hilarious.
Jacob's over here. He's able to hide his laugh. He just knock it off, but he's laughing over in the corner. You know that he just killed the cam.
Tim trying to sober up over there from his devastation earlier today, man.
We
get breaking news while he's in the grocery store. I'll never forget. I told Mandy your quote too. I said, Tim said, we got free agent signings happening for the first time in forever. And I'm over here in the grocery store like a damn old lady is what he said.
That was great. That should have been on the ticker.
That should have been on the ticker. So anyway.
Stop playing with him! Stop playing with him!
Carly, on the surface, how you feeling about it? Y'all just go around the horn and have a conversation. We'll get back to the chat here in a second too.
I think it's a good thing for the team. I think we'll play better. I think the injury stuff was probably really impactful because I think Josh Jacobs has had some injuries, but I think he's played a lot of snaps, right? Like he has been pretty consistent as far as health goes. And so I'm looking forward to seeing a running back that I actually get to see on the field. So I think that's kind of one way I'm trying to look at it.
I think that's a good point. Don't you, Emilio? I mean, like Tim, we love Aaron Jones, but let's be real here. He has, and it's not like they've overused him either, right? We've talked about that. You haven't wore a whole lot of tread off those tires. So I think there's some truth to that. Don't you guys think?
What do we always say? Availability
and accountability.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the dude's got to be there to show up, right? Obviously, we love Aaron Jones. He didn't, he wasn't on the field all the time. That's where I was more behind A.J. Dillon. He had, that one thumb where he broke his thumb or whatever. That was the one game he missed. And it was tough. Aaron Jones tore it up in the first game of the season. We saw the Texas route. We saw him take it to the house against the Bears. And then where was he till the end of the year kind of thing? And that's kind of where I think Goody maybe looked at the big picture and was like, hey, man, we missed him for the chunk of us going through that really rough stretch and almost getting rid of – everyone wanted Sean Clifford and Jordan Love out and all that, and Aaron Jones was not there for that, right? So he wants someone that's going to be able to put in those hours and that extra time. Not that I don't – trust me, I don't love Aaron Jones, my man. I got the sombrero up here. So I think Goody's just running with the young and he likes his idea and it's worked for him.
Greg Rice in the chat here, Tim said, is Jacob crying in the corner? Do we need to do a wellness check? So, no,
Jacob alone.
Jacob's good. He's got some stuff he's having to take care of. I told him to keep his camera off if he needs to. So
yeah,
we're all good there.
Jacob's good because he led the league in rushing in 2022. So I don't think that it's a problem.
Every comment that I read, I'm thinking it's a
different. Said it earlier today too, man. That is hilarious. Tim, you good with it, man, as it sits right now?
Yeah, as it sits right now. And it's important for us to remember that, like, it's only the beginning, guys. Like, the next, few days and the coming weeks between now and the draft, and as the free agency period really kind of unfolds and, stretches itself out, I mean, we could see a lot of other news coming down the pike. So, you know, I'm okay with where we sit now. Like I said, I feel like, you know, your heart's ripped out, but at the same time, it's like, excited about the future. You know, if I can put my heart back into my chest and get it to work again, we'll be all good. You know, like I've said this before, you know, we love this team. We love what it stands for. We love this town, and we love our players. And, you know, I don't care what anyone says. Jonesy's, you know, a Packer Hall of Famer. He's a Packer for life. It doesn't matter. I'll say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. Same thing about Brett Favre. You had people ready to crucify Brett Favre for putting on Viking purple. Doesn't matter. Hall of Famer, Packer forever. You know, the great ones, the legend never dies. And if anything, you're going to wish Aaron Jones a successful and bright future, no matter where he plays football, and be happy for any successes that are to come, unless, of course, we run into him in the playoffs or something. But other than that, no, I feel good. Am I as ecstatic as everyone else? No, I'm probably split in between. I'm kind of, you know, in between, somewhere in between, you know, really excited and, you know, kind of where Jacob is right now. You know, I'm right in the middle.
Makes a lot of sense for sure. And there's been a lot of reaction on Twitter from these players. Obviously, we showed you the exchange between David Bakhtiari and Aaron Jones earlier today. We were kind of holding out hope that Aaron Jones may still return, but I'll tell you this, man, he put on IG, I appreciate all my teammates making the past 7 years truly special, and I love you all. Thank you for everything, Green Bay. That kind of feels definitive, right? And you go, okay, well, maybe he's in his emotions a little bit, right? But then you've seen Spoon put this out. Tom Silverstein said, Packers announced Jones cut, so not a June 1. Sure sounds final. Gutekunst, quote, it is certainly one of the hardest decisions we've had to make in my time with the Packers, and not one taken lightly. He has not only had a significant impact on the field and in the locker room. It said the tweet continued, but it did not continue, or else I would have had it up. So obviously, this all sounds definitive. Am I right there, guys? Are you seeing it the same way? I don't think there's any chance Jonesy's coming back.
Do you want me to finish? I actually have up the rest of that tweet. Do you want me to finish?
Yeah, finish it. Yeah.
Okay. The rest of it says, but so he has not only had a significant impact on the field and in the locker room, but he is one of the most beloved players in the community. We wish nothing but the best for Aaron and his entire family moving forward.
There you go. Good stuff. Emilio, you seem like you approve. You got the whole
dude,
like a Baptist preacher down there.
Man. I'm close to getting 915 just, you know, written on the board. If I could just get him to sign the sombrero, I think I would have been fine. But dude,
here's a little more lighthearted. I think Bach has just been on a roll today. So obviously Aaron Rodgers tweeted at Bach earlier the heart emoji, and Bach responded with this. Of Aaron and Bach just sitting on the wall at Lambeau, right? Just kind of hanging out. I'm not going to be surprised if he's going to be a Jet next year. And like you said, he's got a brand new tire, so he's planning on playing, I believe.
That's true.
We'll see.
There's no retread.
Yeah. Watch him finally get healthy and play another 5 years or something. That would be exactly how this plays out, right? But all right. So speaking of O-line, well, first of all, let me hit this real quick. Warren Sharp tweeted this out. I'll just read it off. He said, total free agency spending based on deals reported to date. Atlanta Falcons, $192 million. Las Vegas Raiders, $135 million. Minnesota Vikings, $121 million. Green Bay Packers, $116 million. And again, I had an email about this earlier today. They said, you guys called it. If Goody's going to spend, he's going to spend early, right? This is how he did last time. The very first day, it was bang, bang, bang. Get your players in and get out, right? There may still be some bargain hunting. Jacob, you'll get excited about that, I'm sure. We'll get some bargain deals.
Some Five Below shopping. Let's go.
Some five below players a little later here in free agency, but pretty wild, right, Jacob? I mean, you're fourth in spending so far in free agency this offseason.
Yeah, not how I would draw it up or how anybody I think had it drawn up for sure. I don't know, man. I'm still so nervous about this. And again, last year we prided ourselves on being.
He sounds constipated, don't he? Man?
Yeah, the way he said it.
I love it, man. I love the emotion that Jacob brings.
I don't want to get too high about it or too low about it. I want to see how we advance through because this is just the first part, right? So I got to take that in stride. And then now we go into the pre-draft and then we get our draft. And then after that point, I think it's more fair to make an evaluation as to, was this a good move?
Definitely. Let's hit the chat real quick. United Bates says, it seems apparent Goot is building a team that can not only win now, but is young enough to keep its core together for years. It's a good point about Josh Jacobs. If he doesn't want more guaranteed money later and try to hold out, you've got your running back of the future in place. Obviously, the wide receiver room, one of the cheapest, I think the second cheapest wide receiver room in the league and one of the most productive last year. Seems like we're built for the future for sure. Brandy Lewis asked a great question. How do these moves change the draft for the Packers? So let's go around the horn with that. Tim, I'll start with you, man. What's the first thing that comes to mind when someone asks you, when Brandy asks, how do these moves change the draft for the Packers?
I don't know if we necessarily take a safety at 25 anymore. I thought that, prior to the McKinney signing, we almost would certainly reach for one of those top tier safeties at 25. We also discussed trading back in the first round. So I think that might change a little bit. As far as the personnel that we've been looking at, though, I don't think much of that changes. I still think the Packers will probably draft a running back, probably in the later rounds. And we still need a linebacker. We still need corners. We talked about possibly picking up, a backup tight end. Although, in other big free agent news today, Tyler Davis was signed again. So Jacob can't contain his excitement at all right now.
No more sift blocks.
No, we're sifting. The sift is back, baby. Sift is back. We're sifting like bakers over here now. Carly,
that would be where I'm at though, with just what changes. I guess I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Carly, what are you thinking? How's this change the draft?
I'm actually. This makes me more excited for the draft because I think we're just going to see some unique takes, whether it be trading back to get more of, taking 3 or 4 corners, maybe trying to hit on some, or I feel like he's not so restricted now with having to be desperate to fill certain needs. And I'm so glad we got a veteran safety. And so maybe he'll take a couple more. I guess I don't remember exactly who. Savage is gone. Do we have any others left? Is Owen still with us?
Owens is still a free agent.
Right.
Rudy Ford's a free agent. So yeah, we those are the two that really kind of piqued my interest. I'd like to see both those back on somewhat of a minimum contract. I think that would be a good move. We kind of talked a little bit earlier, and maybe this plays into the question. We'll get your take on it too, Emilio, to answer Brandy's question. We immediately said, okay, you've got your post safety. What about the guys that are going to play in the box in terms of the draft? And the names we came up with is Mustafa is one that played in the box quite a bit. Kalen Bullock played in the box quite a bit. Bo Bray did. Jaden Hicks did. And Kitten Oladipo did. So that's, 5 safeties that might potentially be on the radar now. And I got to be real, every one of those, I feel like you have a legit shot of getting in the 3rd round. That could very well happen, right? We're expecting the Newbin to go anywhere from, some people have him in the 20s, some people have him in the 50s, right? Cam Kinchins is currently sitting in the 50s. We're actually mocked to take Newbin on the 41st pick, right? Which I think that may change, like you were saying, Tim. But those are some names to kind of keep an eye on. But what do you think? What else do you think changes about the draft, Emilio? Maybe running back, you think, or do you think that stays the same?
Yeah, running back, I honestly am still good with taking a later round guy. Aaron Jones was a 5th round pick. He ended up being a dog. We paid the we paid the star back now with Jacobs. Honestly, I was more looking at the defense in the secondary. Like SDN40 here said, frees up the draft, not needing to be locked in at safety. And Prince said the same thing, kind of both free agent signing at positions. We knew we needed multiple players adds at. So every time we were trying to chase down those safeties at the beginning of the draft, right? We were trying to get 1 or 2, double up, things like that. I don't think Goody's going to have to do that, right? I think he's going to do at least 1 trade, probably a trade back, and he's going to add another pick for next year because he likes having more than 7. So I think he's going to keep kind of daisy chaining that. If he doesn't like anyone at 25, I think we're out of the 1st round. To be honest with you, I don't even think he's going to mess around with it. I think he's going to say, here, give me a 1st for next year and give me something for this year and call it a day. And if he doubles up on 1st next year, it's a wrap, right? If we end up, making a run at it, we're in the late 20s, 30s, whatever next year, and he gets a backup 1st round pick from some other team, I think he's going to dive all over that. And he made the decision now early in free agency. Let me get my safety to lock down the farthest, back on the defense, and let me get my running back to back up my farthest back on the offense, right? So yeah, he's really trying to narrow down and go young everywhere. I don't think that, like we said earlier, they're ready to run this for a while now.
Yeah. Doug Pointer makes a great point, no pun intended. Looking at interior offensive line with a higher priority. I think that could, safety kind of drops down a touch now, right? As far as needs, you're looking to fill that right guard position, obviously. And again, like Tim said, Emilio said, cornerback, linebacker still on the table there. I'm telling you, I would go crazy if we got Bobby Wagner. I think that would be absolutely awesome. Mm-hmm. I can't stop thinking about it. Bobby Wagner, Quay Walker in that nickel 4-2-5, Xavier McKinney playing post. If you shore up, let's say you use the draft to shore up safety, or maybe you do go with someone like Cooper DeJean, and you throw him in the slot, right? That's another one too. Another name that's been linked to the Packers, obviously Keyshawn Nixon. It sounds like they really want to bring him back, not only as a kick returner but as a slot defender. I respectfully disagree with that, but what the heck do I know, right? I'm not a GM. So, let's see here. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you think if there's no market for Bobby, I know you guys are on him, if that 4 isn't it, if he doesn't get the 4 within 3, 4, 5 weeks of free agency, do you think Goody just snags him for like 2.5, 3 and calls it a day, and then still drafts a backer, obviously, to learn from him? But
I think it's possible. But another thing too, man, if the market isn't there,
retirement.
Guy that old, Tim, he's got to be thinking, Jacob, he's got to be thinking, man, why don't we just hang this up and go home and enjoy life, right?
You don't say that.
What'd you say?
I said, you don't say that.
You don't say that.
You don't say that.
Voodoo out in the universe, man. We don't need that.
It is true, though, right? That, you get into your later years, as Clayton would say, you're almost collecting Social Security in NFL years. So, if the market's weak, are you going to take a subpar contract or a veteran minimum contract, or are you going to just, retire with a, good head on your shoulders and not put your body at risk for one more year for,
Things could be a lot worse. I could be a Bears fan.
Very well said, Ja. Very well said. Badger Trio says, since entering the league, I wonder if this is true. If it is, wow. Since entering the league, new Packers safety Xavier McKinney has the #1 PFF coverage grade when lined up at free safety, 92.0.
Yeah.
If that's the case, let's go, guys. I mean, that is a slam dunk of a signing. Brandy Lewis says Xavier McKinney is not Charles Woodson, but hot damn. I agree. He's
kind of attempt, right? Yeah. I started that. I like that because, man, when everything was in place, when we kind of chased after it in 2010, we signed a big name secondary guy. Obviously, Xavier's younger than Charles, but if he's going to be a piece moving forward, man, we're going to be looking back on it next year like, Goody, you were absolutely cooking that day. March 11th, all day long. You had the chef hat on.
You traded the sombrero for a chef hat.
Yeah, that's the truth. And then I can't bring it off the shelf anymore now. Thanks, man.
Hey, Clayton.
Yeah, man.
Did you by chance get that tweet I sent you of Jacob Westendorf?
Let's see. Which one was it on the O-line?
Yeah, because that's what I have changed my opinion on, is if you read that to me really tells us that we got to do a little bit of work at the O-line position.
Yeah, so Jacob Westendorf on Twitter tweeted out Packers' current O-line. Rasheed Walker, strong finish, but was rotating in late December. Elton Jenkins, good. Josh Myers, inconsistent contract year. Sean Ryan, is he any good? No. And Zach Tom, good. They're a Rasheed Walker regression away from some real problems up front. This is not my burner account. This is Jacob Westendorf, right? I have got a lot of hell the last few days over just mentioning that if the best player available is a left tackle, pull the trigger and take him, right? There are some that will remain nameless that believe Rasheed Walker is a franchise left tackle. I hope they're correct. Right now, I don't think we've seen enough to say that, seeing that his blown block percentage is kind of below the halfway point, both in run blocking and pass blocking. Now, is blown block percentage everything? No. But you look at the PFF grades, it kind of lines up with it. You can't just cherry pick the good tape and go, yeah, look at Rasheed Walker, man. He blocked that guy. Okay, what happened the other 50 snaps? You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about here? So I think there's some real.
Clayton, how does he measure up against other left tackles that have been in the league as long as he has? Like, is he on track, like following the curve?
That's the thing. Like, right, this is his what? That was his second year. He's a 7th round pick, right? He graded out in the mid 60s, if I remember correctly. No, the lower 60s, didn't he? Let me see. I think I got the grade here. I don't want to tell you guys wrong. Rasheed Walker graded out 66.3. That's pretty solid if he was a rookie. As a second-year player. And again, something he mentions here, Rasheed Walker, strong finish, but was rotating in late December. They still weren't sold on him in late December, right? The blown block percentage, that stat, Carly, in that ranking was compared amongst all other left tackles that had at least 100 snaps, okay? And I did that to make the number look even better for Rasheed Walker because I didn't want it to be like someone with 20 snaps and they had a lower pressure rate or whatever, right? So he finished 20th in blown block percentage in pass blocking and 20th in blown block percentage in run blocking. Again, it's not everything, but this whole idea that, hey, yeah, he's going to end up being great. I think it's possible, but I would not bet the farm on that. And here's the other thing. What do we always talk about? A sophomore slump, right? His second year starting. He came in this year. No one had any tape on him, none whatsoever. The only tape we had on him was him humping another a defender in college, right? Let's be honest. So now you're going to get a full offseason. All of these opponents, Tim, you're in the bottle. You better stop it. So,
That's what she said.
There it was. He was laughing as he was trying to find the trap. So anyway, you come into this offseason, and everybody that's on the Packers schedule, guess what they're doing? All of their right ends, right? All of their defensive end that's going to line up over Rasheed Walker. They're going to go watch the tape, and they're going to go, okay, what's he do good? What's he do bad? What moves does he struggle with? That's why this sophomore slump typically exists, even for offensive linemen, because they're going to go attack his weakness. Now we're going to see what we're made of. I think what Jacob Westendorf's pointing out here, Jacob, and I want to get your take, it's true. Like they're a Rasheed Walker regression away from some real problems up front. If he does take a step back, and think about it this way. If you listen to those fans that thinks it's just absurd to even think about taking a left tackle, if you pass up on that left tackle and he does take a step back, or he gets hurt, and now you're trying to patch in the most important position on the offensive line because we were just sold on a 7th round pick, 3rd-year player being our franchise left tackle. If Bach was healthy and a left tackle fell to the Packers, if Bach 5 years ago was healthy and a left tackle fell to them that was best player available, it's that important of a position. I think Goody will pull the trigger. How did we get Bach? We got Bach. Think about this. We got Bach, if I remember correctly. We had Bulaga as our left tackle that we pretty much drafted. Right. Bach essentially beat him out for the left tackle spot as a late round pick, and then they plugged and played Bulaga on the right side. Now, Bulaga battled injuries from there on out, obviously, but another example right there, if they just rested on their laurels, we wouldn't have found Bach, right? That's why it's so important. But, Jacob, how do you feel? You shared that. You sent that to me, man. How do you feel about that tweet from Jacob Westendorf?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that shifted my whole mindset after what's happened today. Like you said, that whole tweet is just going off of regression, not alone 2 or 3 injuries that seem to hit us every year at that O-line position, at least, So to me, it like you said, there's a lot of 1st and 2nd, 3rd round interior linemen that I really like, guys that I think could be like plug and play generational players, guys like Cooper Beebe and, who's the other dude from Duke, Barton. So I just really think that you got to grab at least 2 or 3 of those guys in the first, I'd want one in the first 3 rounds and then just pepper in a bunch of 4ths and 5ths and see because they seem to have a lot of success finding those mid-round guys that they turn into just studs.
Definitely. Josh Martin, been a member for 4 months now, the PTA Posse. Appreciate you supporting the stream, Josh. He says, we definitely need to draft 2 to 3 O-line, I think is what he's saying in this draft. Mm-hmm. Our needs have 3. As we ID'd 3 if we don't sign anybody in free agency. And what I mean by that is starting right guard, right? Let's forget center for a minute, which I think we would all agree is very, very questionable, right, at best. You need a starting right guard. you need a swing tackle or a backup left tackle and a backup right tackle. Yash most likely will test free agency. They may get him for a bargain and bring him back. Obviously, they put a second-round tender on him last year. They thought pretty highly of him to pay him $4 million to sit on the sideline and eat hot dogs, right? Like the dude didn't even get in the game, to the best of my knowledge. Now, you do have Caleb Jones on the as a backup as well. I think you would value Yash more than Caleb Jones, but we'll see what he does in free agency. The other thing that was mentioned here, I think, was by Brandy. She said, do you think the Packers look at center this year? I think they should. Do I think they will? I don't. I think all the coaches marched out there and said he was playing his best football, didn't they, guys?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's where I'm at. If we don't take any, in the first round or anything like that, we still have Luke Buckus, right, and Steno teaching them up. That's what we've hung our hat on for the past 3-4 years anyway. It's not like we've had stellar, name brand linemen for the past 5-10 years. It's, we've had a couple here and there, and they just make do pass blocking, and we'll call it a day. We got Josh Jacobs. You better be ready to run through some holes if they're there. If not, make them. I feel like that's how they're going to send it. And, Matt LaFleur is going to scheme it up, but the team's going to get better, right? We're bringing in talent, and that's what Goody's planning on doing, is trying to make the team better for the long run. And I honestly think that's kind of where the number one Packer fan was going with this. I think many fans, especially me, need to understand the NFL teams have to work 2 to 3 seasons ahead, not just right now. Still sucks when great players get let go, right? So it hurts in the moment. Like Tim said, heroes get remembered, legends never die. But man, the team has to keep playing. The games are still going to happen. Each year is going to move forward. So at some point, they're not going to be on the team, and we just got to look at where the team's success could be heading.
What do you guys think about this plan, real quick? If you trade back out of 25, whatever those picks are, those 2 or 3 picks that you got, use those on O-lineman, baby.
Yeah, no, that's exactly Jacob. That's what I said, man. Let me get it first for next year. I don't care where we land, and then let me get anything else this year, and Goody will back out of the first round. I almost think.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. It's a good point. Deadfish says Graham Barton. Oh,
oops, sorry.
That's all right. Graham Barton looking a lot better now at 25. Just check my board to see where I've got him at currently, and this will change. Graham Barton, I've got him in the 23 spot right now on my vertical board. And just a little note here for everyone. The Packers did formally meet with him at the Combine and interview him. So he's on the Packers' radar. Listed as a tackle on many spots. He said very, very confidently he can play all 5 positions if needed. So to me, Graham Barton, Deadfish, I'm with you, man. If they decided to stay put at 25 and take Graham Barton, sign me up, man. I'll take that. I think I like more the idea of doing what you and Jacob are talking about, Emilio, trading back, right? Just kind of piling up some picks, staying young. And every time you trade back too, you're going to pick up, a little extra draft compensation, but also that next draft pick gets a little bit cheaper.
Right. And that's where I think Goody wants one for next year. He's loved having an extra pick. Why would he not? Why would he stop that now? Especially if there's not anything at 25. Get rid of it. Let me back up 3, 4, 5. Let me back up into the second round and pick up an extra 3 picks. Whatever, dude. I think he's at that point now. And that's why they were kind of moving some money around. So he had that option to sign the players he knew he needed to get this, offense and defense moving.
Yeah, for sure. Joseph in the chat says Caleb Jones and Luke Tenuta will be interesting in camp. Kept them around for a reason. They were pretty high on Luke Tenuta, right? And obviously he got injured. So that's a big old boy too. My God, he is a massive human being. So yeah, we'll see how that goes there. No way. Don't you say this to me, STM40. Read it, Jacob. I'm going to make you read this one. Read it loud for the crowd.
SDN40 says the Vikings apparently showing interest in Jones per a report, of course, because they are the devil.
If I have to see Aaron Jones in purple, boys,
that would break my heart.
It would break my heart too. Moment of silence for that thought.
Yeah, at least you come back to Lambeau once a year.
Oh, yeah.
See a real stadium once a year, right? Right, Tim? Let's hope that doesn't happen, but yeah. All right, let's see here. Ron Samble, Jacob's a big receiving threat. That was his strength coming out of college, if I remember. He was very, very – I remember hands down them saying he was the best running back in that draft. And obviously the Raiders treated him as such. And early on, he looked like it on the field. I think it was Andy Herman was showing some clips earlier today, breaking down some box cam all 22 type looks. And man, that offensive line, he had nowhere to run, guys. He was getting hit in the backfield just about every play. So maybe a little change of scenery here. Jordan Love spreading things out of touch with that 11 personnel. By the way, the top 10 plays that we broke down, we did the little mini chalk talk segment you guys remember the last few days?
Yep.
Every single play, 11 personnel. So keep that in mind. If that's on tape, you know LaFleur knows it, right? We keep talking about 12, and man, let's get Musgrave and Kraft on the field. Your most explosive plays and your biggest difference-making plays came out of 11 personnel, so probably going to lean a little more on 3 wide receiver sets rather than 12, I would imagine. Keep that going. So let's get ready to wrap this thing up. Carly, any other topics you want to hit on? Anything else you got here that you would like to discuss?
Not really discuss, I guess, but I just wanted to mention, so I started really paying attention to more of this football stuff and all that last year with the draft, kind of learning about the different draft picks and then actually watching the draft, seeing who the Packers selected, and then read how to take your eye off the ball to understand more of the playbook and stuff, and then got into fantasy, and it was the weirdest fantasy season because all of the quarterbacks got injured, so suddenly my quarterbacks were good because I drafted real stupid and I finished pretty well, and then and now with the Packers just having this turnaround year, kind of comeback year, finished out strong, and then with this free agency being so different than what I've heard you guys talk about, I feel like I'm not being maybe set up well for the future, in that all these things, the very first things I've experienced, have all been just like out of this world, and now the next seasons are going to be just like total downers because Goody's not going to do anything and he's not going to spend any money. I'm going to be like, why isn't this as exciting as it was the first time? Anyway.
Love it. What do you guys think? Go around the horn with that. I'm going to try to share the screen here too. Clinton Dix has entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Has he?
Haven't heard from him in a while, right? Actually, let me just go ahead and share it here. This is kind of cool, man. Check this out. Evidently, he's still a Packer fan. So check this out. I'm pretty sure this was him that actually tweeted this out too. So I'll see if I can zoom in, if I can find the right one. Yeah, look, he put, "My Packers ain't bull jiving around. Cheese emoji, I'm loving it." Look at him dancing there
with the shimmy.
You gotta love it. Hit me with that shimmy real quick there, Amelia. I know you can do that, man. Let's see what you got. You got down the bottle a little bit. that was right up there with Tim's dance. Remember Tim's dance?
Sure, dude. Tim, the in and out, dude. The in and out was great.
I'm not gonna let you guys turn me into a meme again. Not gonna happen.
Dude, I shouldn't have done it, Tim. You should have told me not to.
I'm gonna crop that out. Put somebody hit the however you timestamp that specific spot on the stream. Do that for me. I'm gonna zoom in on it. We're gonna get that on a meme. That'll be a GIF on Twitter too. It won't just be here on the stream.
Oh, later. Come on, man!
That's cruel. That is so cruel.
It is. I love it too. Anybody else got anything else they want to hit on here?
The fact that John Runyon Jr. got $10 million a year and we paid Xavier McKinney $17. I mean, what are the Giants doing, right?
Yeah, what are the Giants doing? I'm glad they're doing it way over there. You know what I'm saying?
Did you guys see the interaction between Xavier McKinney and Saquon Barkley? They're both peace outing each other. Like, man, I'm glad we're not stuck here anymore.
I'm not stuck in
that luck with your new team.
Yeah. Glad we don't have to share a stadium with another football team anymore. Yeah. That'll be cool.
Another horrible football team.
I love it. Jacob, you got anything else, bub?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just I'll answer Carly. Yeah, this is not normal for the Green Bay Packers. This has been absolutely the most emotional ride that I can remember since I was 10 years old. That's when I really remember it. And then I think Clayton told me that he's going to make himself available tomorrow as well if we need to go live if anything else happens. Is that true?
Or if we need some emotional support, right?
Yeah, he's going to be available for us his number's always open. You can always call him if you're going through something, right?
Call who, me?
Yeah, you, Clayton.
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yes.
This guy, come on, I'm busy tomorrow. Nah, we'll be around. We'll be around all day. So if news breaks and we get some signings, we'll continue to go live. Today was kind of fun, man. We made the decision that, you know what, let's kind of enjoy free agency frenzy. Got a little bit of money to spend if Goody is active. Let's Let's just jump on here and kind of hit it. Emilio, what is wrong with you?
I don't know. I
What
just
is
saw
Jordan
more
Thompson?
Packer fans saying Lord Emilio, and I'm over here. You know, Tim sent me the bottle that he started, and I'm trying to finish it right now. So
I love it. Brandy Lewis says, "Is there a wide receiver named Hate so we can have that love-hate relationship?"
oh,
I'm talking.
wow, on it.
That's
I
just
love it.
phenomenal.
I mean,
I got to do it. I got to hit her with it here, boys. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
That's what I'm
It'd be
saying.
just the same effect if we get a receiver named Johnson. Get that love, Johnson.
Oh, Jacob.
Oh, come on, Jacob. What the?
Just saying.
Unbelievable. Greg Ross says Clayton will do video calls for all Green Bay fans in need. No, Clayton will not. All right. Matter of fact, yes, I will. And I will post my phone number as soon as we get off here. Don't worry if it's an Alcoa number, okay?
Right. Yeah.
We'll just get Emilio's number out there.
Yeah, that's the problem. I like Omar's new update there. I think someone was cooking there in that press conference, right? Look at that picture. I'm not even worried about what he said. I'm worried about that picture of Goody right there.
Goody looking like a young Joe Pesci. in that picture there, looking like a young Frankie Valli or something. I don't know. I still miss Tupac LaFleur though. Gangster Goody's good, but Tupac.
Mayor, if you have that, send that to Clayton so we can get that etched in. We can just do a little collage, and that could be our background picture. It'd be like the evolution of LaFleur and the evolution of Goody.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to make that
on the G. What's that?
Yeah. All eyes on the G. I love it. I'm going to keep saying that. I want that to stick for the 2024 season. It's Tupac LaFleur as our head coach for sure.
Because last year Clayton had to count them out, right? They counted us out. So now we got the Tupac LaFleur. I love it. It's with a young team. I think that's exactly what he needs.
That's the vibe, man. Let's go.
Absolutely. Anything but
I don't listen too much Taylor Swift.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? All right, let's get out of here, guys. Listen, day one free agency almost in the books. We'll see if anything drops tomorrow. Regardless, we'll go live for a Good Morning Lambeau, and then we'll kind of hang out all day and be ready if some other news breaks and kind of bring you guys that in real time for sure. But wipe your hands clean of day one. All right, it's in the books, as Tay says.
Wash your hands, wash your butt, man. That's it. That's all.
You know?
And Clayton, all I was thinking, and this is kind of where I'm standing at this moment, right in time.
Just here to tell you, Pack is back.
Hey,
It's
oh, Carly hit it. That's what I'm talking
Carly hit the.
Yeah, I'm too Caucasian. I'll screw it up, man. But now, hey, think about that. If Ja returns to old form, Xavier McKinney playing post, go get us Bobby Wagner, Goody. We need him.
The only thing I did see on Jacobs' highlight was he crisscrossed Jair on one of his runs when we were playing against him. Right. I clicked on his first highlight tape that hopped up on YouTube, and man, he gave Ja one shake, and it was a 15, 20-yard gain. So that's exciting, right? We're gonna make it better. And thank you, Tim, because that's exactly it. That's why Goody brings in talent, right? Everyone's got to get better. We're still gonna practice. We're still gonna go through this stuff, and the team will get better as a whole. Yeah, I just can't wait.
Yep, I'm with you, man.
Oh, Jacob's back
now.
Thanks.
He's off the toilet now.
Did you dye your beard? That thing is dark. What'd you do?
Oh, man, look at that beard. Right
in the meantime,
I got a light now again. So
need the lock bill, my man. That's what I'm talking about.
No, it runs off a battery. Runs off AA's.
Now that you're on screen, let's get your reaction, Jacob. What do you think?
Oh man,
is that a new guy?
I love it, dude.
Deleting them all right now.
It's so good. It covers the whole screen. It's so crap.
That's what she said.
There you go. We're out of here, guys. Appreciate y'all. Today was fun. Jacob, nothing else. You good, man? You good?
I just want to let you guys know Eric Sutherland's a liar.
Oh, no. He's saying let's go to the chat here.
He probably didn't say anything we can put on the screen, right?
News here. Can we put it up, Jacob? Is that the point?
Yeah, that's fine.
On screen. All I see is go Pack go, man. Let's go to our correspondent here, Mr. Eric Sutherland. What did he say? Where did he say it at, Jacob? Put it
trying to claim that I use Just for Men Jacob.
Oh, Just for Men Jacob. Hey, sponsor the show. whether you use it or not, if they sponsor the show, we'll pretend like you use it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how that works. So
Yep.
You don't use no Dress for Men, Jacob?
No, man, I got grays all in there.
Do you? All right.
No way.
I got a patch right here, gray. When I grow mine out, it's just this big old glob of gray right there, man. So that's what it is. Getting old, man. Getting old.
Well, if you like the men's grooming content, please hit the like button. And we'll be back tomorrow, possibly, and definitely tomorrow night with more beard trimming techniques and how to dye your beard as well.
Do you know what Goody was drinking today? Because the man was cooking. I'm pretty sure he was drinking.
I tried this one chili and it set my mouth on fire, and I had to drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
I'm pretty sure that's what he was drinking all day.
He was cooking chili and drinking Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. I would never get over how proud he is of saying that. The way that guy looks around, looking at the reaction, you know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
love it. Love it.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you what died really quick last year, though, guys. That whole
65%.
Yeah,
Mark Murphy. We never got to 65%, did we?
Yeah,
so
we could.
Should we just remove that from the drop? Should we not have it?
I think we might have to.
Yes.
I think we should tell that drop.
I got some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
We're just hitting them. The past 2 minutes of just hitting drops.
Let's go right down the line here. Let's go back to the origin of he can block. All right. Again, Toggle, thank you for the super chat. Josh Martin with the super chat says, outside of running fast, what does Watson do well? He can't high point the ball, doesn't fight for the ball, drops the ball, gets hurt a lot.
He can block. He's been blocking well this year.
Emilio said he can block. Yeah, Tim is the best. Look, I'm not going to play the whole thing again, but look how pissed off Tim is. Again, Toggle, thank you for the super chat. Josh Martin with the super chat says, bro, he was so mad after that game.
This is Tim.
You got to put yourself in my shoes. I'm as pissed off as anyone that we lost. And I'm going, okay, everybody in Packerland is hurting right now. Let's get on here and give them a little bit of hope. Let's laugh a little bit. Let's have some fun. Bloop. All right, here's Tim. Tim. That's out of the camera the whole time.
That's why I didn't go on that episode, because I knew I couldn't hide it.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, but again, man, it's part of being a fan. It's hilarious. So Tim on that whole time is just look like me when Mandy tries to make me take the trash out, bro.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that got him excited was the mullet. That was the only thing that made Tim chuckle. That was
about this guy.
You can call me anything you want, but don't call me that.
All right, we're off the
rails.
We're going, guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for hanging out with us. Give a quick shout out. Let me look at the chat here. Josh Martin, been a member of the PTA posse for 4 months now, and you are awesome, buddy. Appreciate you always supporting the stream. Mm-hmm. Again, special shout out to Joyce, who gave 60 Packer Fan Total Access memberships earlier today. We'll get some extra names in the drawing. I need to do a giveaway. We're going to do a giveaway this coming week. It'll either be, I think it's either Antonio Freeman or a Robert Brooks jersey autograph. So we'll get that queued up. All right. Jacob, don't be creating any burner accounts, putting yourself in the contest either. You hear me? Don't be doing that. So
Jacob, you and me go in on it. We can share the jersey sort of thing. Yeah.
What are y'all going to pay? $1.50 each for the membership? Unbelievable. All right, we're out here, guys. Thank y'all so much. We'll see you in the morning for Good Morning Lambeau. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. Go Pack, go.
The power sweep. Actually, it's the lead play in our offense. We ask our YN or a tight end to open up somewhere between 6 feet and 9 feet. Get an isolation with the linebacker. Tell the tackle to take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, to drive down on the first man to his inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.